All right. I guess we'll call this meeting to order of the Vision Fund Committee, August 28th, 2025. Need a roll call, so please call the roll.
Jay Chair. Member Peterson.
Here.
Mayor Schmitz.
Here.
Chair Freilich.
Here. All right, with that, we do have a quorum, so first item on the agenda will be any public comment that we have on the agenda. Seeing no comments, I guess we'll move to item number 2, approval of the meeting minutes. And I'm assuming everybody got those in the email.
I move to approve the meeting minutes.
Move to approve as presented.
We have an approval and a second. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, I would ask for a vote. Do we have to do singly, or can we just do a?
You've done all in favor.
Yeah. So all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda: receive Vision Fund financial statements. And I think we all have these in front of us. I don't know if you have them, Mayor, or not.
Well, I have the original draft, but I think there was probably a change after Tuesday related to some funding for Superior Precast, correct, Eric?
Yes, and I can talk on that. So, and I do have.
Eric, I can't hear you.
Yes, there's a change in the dollar amount for Superior Precast, and I can talk on that, and then I can send updated financials to Whitney, and she can get it all out to you guys with the changes that we're showing.
Sounds great.
For that. We good?
Yep. You're good.
Okay. Jason, how do I get my computer up there? Oh, there we go. Okay, so again, with the change from Tuesday night for Superior Precast, prior to that, there is $1,297,244 with $439,002 committed to previously approved loan that have not been drawn. Superior Precast is a part of that $439,000. Looking at our notes receivable, again, with the change that's going on right now with Superior Precast, the notes receivable amount that are approved and not drawn, that number will reduce, and then the notes receivable amount will go up roughly $250,000 to get us to about $1,070,000. With the cash balance that we currently have on hand for the Vision Fund, with the average about $134,000 per loan draw, you have roughly 6 loans that we can make with the existing cash balance that we have. Looking at the income statement for year-to-date information, these things are pretty static. Interest income is $20,000 so far for as of middle of August. It's a slight decrease from what you're seeing in 2024, just based on the cash balance that is held in the Vision Fund. If you remember, in 2024, we handed out 5 or 6 loans in the later part of the year that totaled about $750,800. So the cash balance is decreasing. That's inherently why the interest income is a little bit lower as a part of the pooled cash for the city. As far as expenditures go, it's the Chamber EDC and the downtowners. Looking at an annualized basis, we're about 3/4 of the way through the year, and so we would expect to see about another $72,500 in the fourth quarter coming from the Vision Fund to help support those 2 groups that are promoting economic development for the city. And then looking at our notes receivable that we have here on the list. So the changes that that we have, and I do have an updated sheet on here too, that I know in the April Vision Committee meeting, Mayor, you had asked about these dates here in yellow and orange, and I do have those two dates populated after I was kind of watching a meeting and try to prepare myself. That venture building for Epic Homes, that repayment date starts is August 19th, 2035, which is this yellow box that is blank. And then the two dates for CMK and Great Plains, those are good dates. Those are when we expect to start to see repayment from those notes receivable for that. The piece that the mayor alluded to, this Superior Precast, it was originally funded and approved by Vision Fund for the $239,580.99. Due to changes in the market and so increase in interest rates and the lender loan increases, they are in need of $250,179.58. So it's a change of $10,598.42 that we're going to be paying on their behalf for the interest rate buy down.
And the city commission approved that on Tuesday.
Correct.
Okay.
And
Final time, do you think they'll get it going now, or will it be delayed anymore?
No, they'll fund on that one next week.
Yep, the finance department's working through the paperwork for the review process, and we'll get the check paid out next week. So that loan can close.
Then we'll be moving that one up to the top.
Yep, and then that one will be moved up to the top. And I can send out the updated stuff so you guys have all that as that change is taking place, so.
Sounds great.
Why is venture building companies' repayment start date so much longer, or farther out there than the rest, 2035?
I would move to accept the financial statements. I think you're done, right, Eric?
Yep, I'm done.
Okay.
Andrea had a question. I'm not sure I have the answer that maybe Nathan,
Oh.
can you?
I couldn't hear her, so
Sorry,
I
Mike.
need her to speak into the mic.
Yeah, I realize that.
Yeah.
I was just wondering why venture building companies' repayment start date was 2035. Everybody else's is quite a bit sooner.
Well, it actually, Nathan can probably answer, but it will match closer to the CMK. They both funded recently.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. So depending upon the principal of the lead lender's note and the interest rate will depend upon how the buy down gets allocated, right? So it's different with different projects. So the bigger the lead lender note and the higher the interest rate that the lead lender is charging, the faster the buy down gets paid out. And so without having the paperwork in front of me, I'm not sure what the terms were for the venture building company's lead lender's note. But I would imagine the reasoning behind it is because the terms of the note are structured different than what CMK Properties is. CMK Properties also, the city, the Vision Fund advanced on CMK Properties buy down before the Epic Home one or the venture building company one as well.
According to this sheet, it hasn't received final approval yet, or on the last column there. Hasn't received final, it's cut off on my sheet, so.
Yep, so part of those things, I checked with my staff before I came down here. Those three notes that you see at the right-hand side for the final promissory note and the two notes for based on a preliminary promissory note, those are no longer accurate. We've gotten all of the final promissory notes and updated the information accordingly.
Okay. Any other questions? Do we have a motion then to approve the minutes?
Yeah,
Second.
I'll move. Go ahead.
We've got a motion and a second to approve the financial statement. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none. We'll move on to, thank you, Eric, appreciate that. Move on to the last item on the agenda, discussion regarding offering prize money for business boot camp, business pitch challenge.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, this is more really a discussion item. I guess I don't expect, unless the Vision Fund wants to move forward, I don't expect there to be any action. Happy if there is, but just kind of wanted to get the temperature of the Vision Fund Committee on something. Give you a little bit of background on some things that the Chamber EDC has worked on and is working on. So there's kind of two items here. There's the business boot camp, and then there's the business pitch challenge. Something that has not happened yet, but is currently in the works that the Chamber EDC is working on is something that we're terming the business boot camp. It's just a name placeholder at this point. We're working on a fancier name, but essentially what this is so. In 2022, the Chamber EDC engaged with an outside consultant to provide us with an economic development strategic plan. And something that came out of that strategic plan was a strategy to launch a local Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. So if you're not familiar with the program, it's a national program administered by Goldman Sachs to help small businesses essentially double their revenue through a series of sessions that help them work on their business, not in their business. The consultant at the time had gone through the program, spoke very, very highly of the program, and thought that a local program could really help kind of that startup small business community. As we started to engage with Goldman Sachs, they rolled out essentially statewide, in rural states, they rolled out statewide programs. And so we checked the box on that strategy, but it was a very faded check. It felt like while we did count it as a win, it really wasn't a local win. It was more of a statewide win. There has been 2 sessions of the Goldman Sachs, the statewide program, the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. I would say I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but just knowing who the participants have been in the program, a majority of the participants in the program have been Bismarck, Mandan, Burley, and Morton County businesses.
This year was, I'm a graduate of this year's program, and we had, I think, 5 or 6 from Bismarck, Mandan, 5 from Minot, Williston, had 2 or 3, West Fargo, Jamestown. So we had about a quarter, and 19 women and 2 guys. So.
And I think in the first cohort, I think there was like 17 or 18 participants, and I think 8 or 9 of them were either from Bismarck, Burley, or Mandan, Morton. And so, again, while we count it as a win, it's more of a statewide program than it is a localized program. And so we engaged. What we did at the Chamber EDC is we took a look at kind of where we felt there were gaps in terms of assistance to small business and in the entrepreneurial community. We engaged with a small focus group that included folks from the entrepreneurial community themselves, as well as some of our partner resources that provide assistance to that community, to that entrepreneurial and small business community. Places like the North Dakota Small Business, or the North Dakota Women's Business Centers, the SBDC, the Small Business Development Centers, the University of Mary, the Gary Threlson School of Business. And so through that focus group, what we found was where that group and where we felt that the gap was in terms of assistance needed for Bismarck Mandan businesses, was kind of in that infancy stage, that startup stage to, let's call it, a two-year-old business. There's assistance programs for kind of that startup stage. There's assistance for when you get a little bit further along in programs like the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program and others, but where we felt like there was a gap was kind of in that infancy stage. And so our solution to that, to fill that need or fill that gap, was to create what we're calling a business boot camp. This business boot camp would be structured similar to the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business program, in that it would offer sessions in specific topics to try to help these businesses that are started to 2 years old kind of take a step back out of their business and focus on their business rather than being in their business on a day-to-day basis. We're already down the path with putting that together. This is something that, unless something major happens, will be a program that we launch in the fall of 2025 with a start date sometime in early 2026, with cohort from Bismarck Mandan. So let's set that aside. There's that program. And then there's the Business Pitch Challenge. And so in 2018, it was the Bismarck Mandan Development Association at the time, engaged with the City of Mandan's Business Development and Communications Department to launch a Business Pitch Challenge. And so this it is strictly for Mandan. It's strictly for it's called the Mandan Business Pitch Challenge. It's strictly for Mandan. The Business Pitch Challenge is a program where businesses apply. They have to be less than 2 years old and can't have a cumulative revenue of more than $250,000. They apply for the program. A selection committee narrows it down to 4 finalists. The 4 finalists then pitch on a pitch night to a panel of judges that ultimately elects a winner. There is a prize package associated with winning the Mandan Business Pitch Challenge. That includes a $10,000 forgivable loan from the Mandan Growth Fund, which is essentially the equivalent to the Bismarck Vision Fund, but on the Mandan side. This year, in addition to the $10,000 prize, forgivable loan prize from the Growth Fund, we also asked for and were granted a $3,000 forgivable loan to be awarded to the second place winner, and a $2,000 forgivable loan to be awarded to the third place winner. So what we're looking for is kind of the temperature of the Vision Fund Committee to offer to, we haven't done a Bismarck Business Pitch Challenge. We've only done a Mandan Business Pitch Challenge. We at this point don't have plans to do a Bismarck Pitch Challenge. We're essentially just sticking with the Mandan Business Pitch Challenge for different reasons, and we can get into those if you want. But what we're looking for is what the temperature is for the Vision Fund to offer a prize to either participants of that boot camp that we're talking about. I think the conversations that we've had at that focus group level and that we've had internally with the Chamber EDC is we'd like to offer some sort of carrot at the end of the stick. Helps participation, helps kind of people to stay in the program. And so how do we offer a carrot at the end of the stick for participants or graduates of the boot camp? And or if there is a desire to do a Bismarck Business Pitch Challenge, what would the temperature be of the Vision Fund to offer a prize to a winner and or second and third place, similar to what we do at the Mandan Business Pitch Challenge? In our minds, this is not a large ask. Like I mentioned with the Mandan Business Pitch Challenge, it's a $10,000 forgivable loan to the winner. It's $15,000 total if you include second and third. We would look if we look at the boot camp scenario, we would look at something similar to those ranges. The plan for us internally is to not have a large cohort within that business boot camp. Ultimately, for me, or ideally for me, I would look at 5 with a max of maybe 7 or 8 participants in that business boot camp. I think the smaller the boot camp, the better. It's more of an opportunity for folks to develop those intricate relationships with each other within that cohort, which I think is important. And Mr. Chairman, you can speak to that from a cohort perspective with the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. It's when you get into a program like that and you're working it together as a group, there's a lot of just opportunity for relationships to be built within that program, and that's what we would look for within our program as well. And so I don't see this being an extremely large ask. Even if we did a $5,000 forgivable loan for each participant that participates in the boot camp, with a max of $35,000, that would be 7 participants at $5,000. That's not an extremely large ask, but I'm just looking for, at this point, a discussion to see, and questions, poke holes in this thing, tell me that I'm crazy.
Well, I think, just from speaking from the Goldman Sachs program, networking with your peers, and especially in a setting where you're in a business environment and they know exactly what you're going through because you're going through it too, and just being able to talk some of those things out, having some expertise in those things or whatever, and being able to talk to other people is invaluable. I learned so much from that program over 12 weeks. So, yeah, I'm a more confident leader and a business owner and everything like that. And so I think it's a great idea. I don't know. We don't seem to have we kind of ebb and flow with projects. So just having this money sitting in the bank, not doing anything for 3-4 months at a time, I'd love to see how we cultivate business, to be honest with you. So I don't know. The program I did was just a completely free program. There was no incentives other than you get to work on your business and basically a crash course in an MBA in 12 weeks. And so at that point, I don't know that it needs to have financial incentive to do it, but I could see the idea of it. So love to.
How long is this one gonna be? Is it gonna be, how long is this one gonna be? What's your planning?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. So right now, we're planning something similar to what the Goldman Sachs program looks like. We're still kind of working through the details on the structure of the program itself, but I don't see this lasting. It would be similar to what that is in like a 12-week program, or max we're looking at 4 months potentially. Like you would meet every other week for 10 sessions or something like that. Right now, it's going to depend upon, we're working through the content and the topic days. And as we get that narrowed down, that will kind of define how long and what this looks like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see it lasting much longer than 12 weeks, potentially 16.
So I guess my initial thought is similar to yours of think that the concept of business boot camp is really, really valuable. And I think of the amount of businesses that fail in the first 5 years and how if they are able to get ahead and work on the business, that's key. So love that. I feel like for me, having more detail maybe on what the forgivable loan, what are the stipulations for them around that? Because again, I'm do they need the carrot there? I don't know. So more compelling kind of information around that would be really helpful, but love the concept, high level. Just kind of the, what is it being used for is where my brain's at a little bit. But I think that having business boot camp in itself is going to be really, really helpful for those businesses.
I guess I would just look at, if we're doing it year after year, too, sustainability of funding for it through, because there's no payback on this one. So, how do we make sure we have funding for it? And maybe the mayor can talk to that a little bit more too. So,
Well, I will speak to it. So I knew part of this was coming. I honestly did not know the request for giving forgivable loans for business boot camp was going to be part of the request, because I was more along the line of the business pitch. I think that's more rewarding. I actually have a hard time saying we're going to give a forgivable loan to every participant in the boot camp. I just don't think that's what it should be about. If we're going to award a winner, then maybe they have to pitch to a committee and we could award. I have no problem with an award. I like the business pitch award concept, because that really will incent true, brand new, spirited individuals to try and become their own entrepreneur, more so than the business boot camp. Business boot camp is a lot of times for people who are already in business and they just need to know how to make it better, and they're getting it for free. I mean, in a lot, and that's a reward enough.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought on that. Would be like a 12-week or 16-week program is a pretty invaluable resource that you're getting for free, and so it does take your time, but and I know the program does cost money with meals and things like that. So I don't know if there's a plan that funds that, or if that's part of this ask too, or not, or.
Yep, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I think, for us, you just saw in the financials that Eric laid out there that the city of Bismarck provides funding to the Chamber EDC to provide economic development services. At least in my mind, this is part of those economic development services, right? This is part of what we do for the city of Bismarck. I don't see there being any operating or program expenses being requested from the Vision Fund. To me, this is already requested from the Vision Fund in that funding that we get that's provided to us from the city of Bismarck. So to that question, no, I don't. There won't be any program expenses that we'll look for to be reimbursed through the Vision Fund. And maybe to the mayor's point, maybe instead of looking at this separately, maybe we look at it combined, and maybe part of the boot camp is a pitch at the end of it that where award winners are awarded.
I'm open to the idea, so I'm open to discussion on it as well. So,
I think it's a great idea, but I agree, if they're already getting 12 to 16 weeks of valuable lessons and interactions with other businesses, so I don't know that other funding is needed, and I worry about what if they take it and they close right away, or then there goes our $5,000. So I just have some concerns with that, and I feel like they're already getting a lot for nothing.
Yeah, and Mr. Chairman, one point I wanted to clarify, that at least in the city of Mandan's situation with the business pitch challenge over there, that's why it's structured as a forgivable loan. And so the award is provided given that you stay in business for 5 years, and the forgivable loan is then prorated over that 5 years. So if to your point, committee member Peterson, if the business would go out of business in the first year, they would be required to pay back 80% of the forgivable loan, and then prorated as such.
But I'm going to be a realist on that. If they go out of business, they're not going to have the ability to pay back the loan. So I'm purely looking at this. I like the idea of the concept of a business pitch type program. Maybe I have to call it something different, because I don't want to necessarily compete directly with Mandan, but we are Bismarck, Mandan, and Mandan, Bismarck. We all want one community. I want to incent our local people to be entrepreneurs. I'm okay if it's $15,000 a year that we end up committing to do that, as long as the city commission agrees with it, which I can't imagine they won't. It's money that'll be gone. That's how I'm counting it. Now, we may put some strings on it and say it's only forgivable over a 5-year period, but reality is it's probably gone. If they got a great idea, I want to promote that. But I'm not thrilled with doing it through the boot camp mechanism. Maybe they're one of the participants in that, or all of them might be. But that's how I view it. I don't want to be on the hook for $5,000 or $1,000 per participant in that boot camp, because that actually puts the city in a more difficult position from a funding standpoint.
So is it possible then to are you planning to have this program set up by next meeting? Like if we did this next month, could you come with a proposal for a pitch, like a formal proposal for a funding mechanism, or for like a funding dollar amount and a pitch things. I think sounds like we have a pretty, I think everybody's on board with that part of the idea anyway, so.
Yep, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, that's literally what I was looking for, is just, if I came up here and you stared at me like I was some kind of crazy fool, then I would know, right? But if the temperature was, hey, support this, just give us some details, give us a pitch on it, then we can definitely come back with what the details are and what that looks like, for sure. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it could be a forgivable loan, but like the mayor says, it's probably gone. If they do go out of business, yeah, we're not getting that back. So, could look at it that way as the funding, but I do like that maybe we put some terms on it so that it's not just so. Any other discussion on that? Thank you very much, Nathan.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, then my takeaways we'll plan for next month and for the September meeting to come back with a more formal proposal and see where we can go from there.
Sounds great.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you. Any other business? Mr. Mayor?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, I guess we will adjourn.
Hey. Have a great holiday weekend, everybody.
Yeah, happy Labor Day weekend. Thank you for all your work, people all around here, so.